Hey! What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Well, my name is Jeremy, aka, well, come on! It's your boy, R.P.G, Red, Purple, Gold. Well, before we get into the brand new episode of the next review in the R.P.G series, reviews, previews, and general news, I just wanted to take this time to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't had a chance to do so already. Also, make sure to take just a couple seconds, like the video, give it that thumbs up because it definitely does help. And last but not least, make sure down there, right downstairs, use that comment section down below to leave any comments that you might like, because it's the best way to get that dialogue started. And of course, I know I say it every time, but it's so important, the ding, the dong, and the ding. That bell gang, bell gang, bell gang. Make sure to hit that notification bell so that each time I drop a brand new piece of content, you'll be the first to be notified, and you can be able to watch that new video whenever you'd like. Well, you guys, like I said, we've got a brand new episode of the R.P.G series and a brand new review to go over today. And, you know, it's sort of one of those situations, and I know that each and every one of you have had this type of a, you know, example or just this sort of thing happen to you at some point in your life. But have you ever sort of had that moment where something just came out of nowhere? You know, be it a song or an album or, you know, a guy or a girl, you know, or a sport of some type, you know, just anything that sort of took you completely by surprise, came so totally out of left field, you never really heard about it or had very minimal knowledge, and then you kind of got involved and bam, you're just totally floored. Well, that's sort of what happened to me with this next artist that we're going to be doing a review on today. And the artist is called Abillyon, and the album is called Born Again. Now, it was an album that came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and like I said, I've never heard of the artist, and I had never, you know, kind of known about him coming up to this album, and from what, you know, I was able to find, I believe that Born Again is also his first true studio album. You know, I'm sure that he's probably put out, you know, several mixtapes and different things like that, but a true studio release, Born Again is the first album that I could find by this artist, Abillyon. And like I said, the album has me just completely and totally floored. Now, I'm going to show you guys the album cover art right now, just like I always do, so you guys can be able to go and find the album as well. But again, artist name is Abillyon, and the album, or the artist name is Abillyon, and the album name is Born Again. So here you go. Here is the album cover art, and I'll kind of zoom in a little bit closer, pull it back out again. So one of the reasons why this album just completely blew me away, and it's sort of the same reason why other albums, you know, like Travis Scott, like Post Malone, those type of albums just blew me away because of their ability to mix and just have these mashups of all these different genres in there, and the way that their voice sounds, and the way that they're able to sort of be a hybrid of both rapping and having singing aspects in there as well. Abillyon and this album is exactly like that, especially like Post Malone in that way, where the rap and some of the sounds are definitely different, but just that hybridization of singing and rapping and putting just incredible beats on top of that. I mean, it's just amazing. So he is a rapper and a singer. Now, for this artist, though, specifically, I would say that probably some of the songs are auto-tuned. However, though, I don't mean that in a bad way either, because I have never really had an issue, either majorly positive or significantly negative, to the use of autotune that a lot of artists use. Because depending on how you utilize it, I think that it can be something that really emphasizes the music if you're trying to use it almost as a piece of who you are as the artist. As opposed to the fact of like, I can't do this, so I'll auto-tune myself up to be able to sound maybe completely different than I do, if it's for the means of, I couldn't do this without auto-tune, as opposed to, let me infuse auto-tune into my style and my overall artistry and make something that's even more. And so to me, this use of autotune, and I don't know if it's on every song or just a few, but there's a couple times where the way the voice sounds, I'm like, wow, I love that emphasis of autotune and how it really is able to just make the song and just the sound be so much more. And I love that about each one of the songs, but just this artist as a specific whole. Now, like I do in each of my reviews, I love to talk about some of my favorite tracks off of the album. And this album is no different. I love the entire thing from start to finish, but I definitely have some of my top favorites. So, some of my favorite tracks on the album, in my opinion, are I'm Back, which is the intro song to the whole album, Born Again, On a Roll, and Ah Yeah. Now, the one thing about this album, and it's not a negative on it, it's just more, man, I wish this was different, but the album is only about 10 songs long. So it's not a very long album, which is fine, because, you know, a lot of times it's like just that really good in and out. I mean, it just hits you like a drum and boom, it just, you know, like I said, I was totally floored, and it's just like done and over, you're like, wow, that was an experience. But for me, when I really like an artist, especially when it's like this, where they kind of came out of left field, just completely took me by surprise. I'd never heard of him as the artist before, and honestly, I would have been happy with it being 12 to 15 tracks. If he had, you know, another 4 to 5 on there, I would have been completely okay with that as well. So, again, it's a shorter album, but that's not a bad thing in a general way. Just to me, I would have loved to have had even more songs on there just because of how good this whole album really is. Now, for me, I think of him, and I talked about it a little bit at the top, but I really find him just this perfect mixture and a blend of different artists, but really taking a lot of, you can tell what he's trying to do as an artist for himself, but to me, you know, a lot of different sounds like Trey Songz, Post Malone, and Travis Scott. So you've got that more sultry, sexy type of sound like Trey Songz, but then you also have some, you know, different things in the mixture of singing and rapping like you have with Post Malone, but just over these incredible beats, really melodic, and just kind of just sit back and just, wow, you know, you just kind of let it take you away. But then also more of that hard mix like Travis Scott has, where he has little aspects of singing in there, and you can tell that he does have a voice and really is able to encapsulate both of those things so well. But you can tell he's more of a rapper, but the way that he's able to blend his music and the way he's able to sample the beats and just how he presents it, it's unlike something you've ever heard. Now, that's why I'm saying that Abillyon is a mixture of all of those, because I don't think that he's like Travis Scott in the sense that some of these songs are unlike things you've ever heard, but at the same time, he also has more of that mixture like Post Malone and Travis Scott, as opposed to just that sexy, sultry type of voice like you find with the Trey Songz. So that's what I love about the album is that it does have that perfect blend. And literally, now, like I said, it's only 10 songs, but every single song is just amazing, start to finish. Now, again, And let's get to it. Let's just get to, you know, what everybody wants to hear, and that's my overall score. Now, the things that I do rate upon are just sort of the wow factor, how many times I'm listening to it, and just the overall replayability. How much am I finding myself wanting to come back and listen to it again and again and again? And for me, like I said from the top, I had never heard of this artist before. Abillyon is a completely new, you know, rapper slash singer to me, and somebody who I had no prior knowledge of until I heard this first album, and it completely blew me away. Like I said, I was totally floored. So right there, huge leg up. Like I said, it has a perfect blend of that rapping and singing, and like myself as well, you know, like R.P.G, Red, Purple, Gold, where that's definitely something that I like to try to incorporate into my music as well. That's something that he does, and it just is incredible, and his voice is really good, but then when he mixes in that auto-tune type style, plus the rapping, it just, again, it's this perfect mixture and this incredible blend of putting all of those together and just having an amazing end product. And I'm usually listening to it about, probably I would say 2 to 3 times a day. So the wantingness to come back, the replayability to hear it over and over and over again right now is very high. But like I said, it's been out for 2 or 3 weeks. So that willingness to want to constantly listen to it multiple times a day is just awesome. And it's just showing the strength and the longevity and the staying power of the album for me overall, personally. So for me, like I said, it's that perfect blend of music, like chocolate and peanut butter or peanut butter and jelly. And so because of those two things, because I love my Reese's and I love my PB&Js, I am going to give this album a 9.5 out of 10. Like I said, it completely came out of left field, and this album and just Abillyon as an artist, but Born Again as the album, just absolutely, completely knocked me out of the park. And I absolutely love the album, and again, I'm giving it that score of 9.5 out of 10. Well, you guys, thank you so much for all of the love, all of the support, you know, with this series, with R.P.G, reviews, previews, and general news, with all of the different episodes that I've done and all of the series that I have here on the channel. Thank you so much, and you know, I love doing these reviews now as well, because it's just another new aspect for me to be able to bring to give you guys even more, you know, news and information about, you know, new artists and albums that I'm just absolutely digging on, and this one is a huge one as well. So until I come with that next review or my next episode, this is your boy, R.P.G, Red, Purple, Gold, signing out. Peace.